Ladies and gentlemen, children of the interwebs out there, smashing envy, strong style, cinephile, reigning, defending AIWF, America's heavyweight champion. So, the balance of the hierarchy of power has changed. Not in the DC universe anymore, because The Rock is no longer in the DC universe, but I guess the hierarchy of power in the Fast and Furious universe. So let's geek about it for a few minutes, because as it's been revealed, and I still haven't seen Fast 10, maybe this weekend, but I do know the two post-credit cameos that happen, or well, one post-credit and one cameo that comes back that shows that nobody stays dead in these movies, and there's no point. There's no stakes anymore whatsoever. But yeah, apparently Hobbs comes back in a post-credit scene, which is supposed to, apparently I read today that it's supposed to lead into a Fast and Furious movie, which is going to star Dwayne Johnson as Hobbs, and it's going to be some sort of continuation from, or bridge between Fast X Part, this one that's in the theaters, and Fast X Part 2, which I don't know why it wouldn't just be Fast 11, but whatever. But it's just funny. And I'd read The Rock said that, or Dwayne Johnson said that he and Vin Diesel had put the past behind him, because of course they had that hugely public feud where The Rock at first is taking veiled shots at some of his co-stars, filming some of the movies, saying they were acting like divas or doing this and that. Then you have Vin Diesel saying he's got to give The Rock tough love to get him into character, and The Rock, even though he did the Hobbs and Shaw spinoff, he was like deuces to the main Fast and Furious franchise. He said, "I'm never coming back." Never say never, right? But he said, I'm never coming back. I wish you guys the best, but I'm never coming back. And then he goes off to do, a couple of Jumanji movies, which are actually pretty good. He finally gets Black Adam off the ground, which has been his lifelong dream, which I've said multiple times in multiple videos talking about Black Adam. I admire Johnson because it was a passion project. It was something he really wanted to do. Took him a decade to get it into theaters. I salute him for that. It's commendable. It's just, if you want something, you dream it, you just got to keep pushing to achieve it. I admire that about him. It's just terrible that his ego put out a terrible movie, because that's what Black Adam was, a very terrible, terrible movie. And of course, he rebuffed being in the Shazam movies and any sort of cameo. He rebuffed the idea of going against Shazam, even though that's Black Adam, Shazam, Captain Marvel. That's they go together, like PB&J. And he was like, no, I want to go get Superman. So he goes around executives at WB, DC, and gets Henry Cavill to come in for a cameo at the end of Black Adam, because he wants Black Adam against Superman. And that turns out to be a total disastrous shitstorm, because apparently Henry Cavill was not really hired by DC, and he didn't factor into the plans that they had when they hired James Gunn as the DC movie czar. So that was a whole debacle that left Cavill with egg on his face, because he walked away from The Witcher, presumably to do more with Superman and another movie and the Black Adam thing and whatever. He walked away from the gig that he had on a hope and a prayer from Dwayne Johnson, and then it didn't happen. So, and then you have Johnson trying to save face with just how badly the movie tanked, and even though they, as I had surmised that they would, said all the politically correct things, that kind of left the door open for, they're continuing to talk, or they've had conversations about, future projects or whatever. That's really not ever going to happen, which I guess never say never at this point. But we know it's just not going to happen. So what does Johnson have to do after this just toxic debacle that Black Adam and Cavill and the box office and everything that it became? He's got to go crawling back to Vin Diesel. that is hilarious. Hilarious. So yes, the hierarchy of power out in the general cinematic universe changed, and it left Dwayne Johnson, and it just went right into the hand of Vin Diesel. Because, I wonder, who reached out to who? I really want to know that. It's just oh man. But of course, Vin Diesel's just an egotistical dick too, because I've seen reports today where apparently Vin Diesel's all mad because everybody likes Jason Mamoa, and his character in the movies more than Diesel's, Toretto at this point, which we've seen for 10 movies. God forbid somebody comes in there like fresh and gives us something different that we like more than the thing we've seen 10 times to this point. He's playing the same mumble-mouthed dude for 10 movies now, who's going to say family 64,000 times. If you want to do a drinking game, take a shot every time he says family, you probably end up dead. Alcohol poisoning, something. So people liked Momoa. Vin Diesel's all pissy about it, which is, it's just like just the egos and stuff swirling around these movies. It's just funny, but it just made me laugh that Johnson had to go crawling back to Vin Diesel to, I guess, have a surefire box office hit on deck, because that's what the Fast movies are. As as over the top and just campy and just gratuitous as they are, they make money. So Johnson's like, well, the Black Adam thing just petered out. I'm going to go back to where I'm going to make a certified mint. So I imagine that's what he's going to do. Don't know if anybody else from any of the movies is going to be in it. There's apparently going to be that movie. There's apparently still that female-led Fast and the Furious movie that's still in the works. Who knows if it happens? And then we still have at least 2 more Fast and the Furious movies of the main franchise timeline. I mean, really, if at this point in time, if they encountered somebody that would allow them to go back in time, would anybody question it at this point? They've been to space. So would anybody, realistically, at this point in time, question if they did time travel? Because I wouldn't. I would just, at this point, just go with it, But those are some of my thoughts on it. Scattered as they often are. What do you guys out there think? Let me know in the comments below. Follow me on social media. Talk to me there. Talk to me here. Until next time. Yeah, Rock had to go crawling back. Just man. That's a huge ego to deflate. And it happened. That's funny. Let us geek.